okay, let's think about it from a risk standpoint, really. Because what you're saying is if my data is not perfect, it's going to take me more time. It's going to take me additional investment. It's going to take a level of effort to kind of get ourselves there from a data perspective. And instead, what we say is, well, let's talk about what is there really risk in your data today? And let's measure that versus the risk of not doing anything or waiting versus beginning to move towards essentially kind of this process of creating, some centralized harmonization in your data that becomes a foundation for improvement over time. And I know that that's something, Francis, that you guys see all the time in Esri.
And what we try to say is that let's not let perfect get in the way of better, and really get started, right? I mean, and that, I think, Jason, is a lot of the challenge. We talked to some folks, I think, locally here in Florida, who said, hey, I'm literally going from this paper-based process, and they almost feared the leap. And it's like, hey, let's just get started. Once you get things under management, that starts that process of awareness. And I think there's no shame in getting started, right? I mean, I actually sent a note to my son this morning. It was let me see, it was a bit of a quote from John Kennedy. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try, right? So if we think about the accomplishment of getting to digital transformation, it starts with that decision to try and taking that first step. So, and that I think feeds right into the way of, into what you're talking about in this slide is don't be afraid of risk, mitigate it. And sometimes we say the facts are friendly even when they stink, right, Jason? Like, hey, you know what? You've got some messy things out here, but hey, the facts are friendly. We know it. We now know what we didn't know, so we can actually take some action in a meaningful way instead of being reactive.
It's safe to say that 100% of the folks that we talk to, when we initially talk to them, are like, well, I'm not sure if my data is quite there. I mean, that's obviously a normal thing to feel, right? No one's data set. There's no such thing as perfect, really. It's a goal. It's a right, get there. But let's talk about that a little bit, Michelle. How would you recommend if someone's like, well, we don't have all of our assets mapped, or we don't, we've got kind of, a history of, data that's mixed in various formats.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier, like 100% of our customers, regardless of size or level of technology adoption, their data is never going to be perfect or ready. Like I said earlier, I think like technology is always evolving and changing, and you're always going to strive to have better data or collect different information. So that is definitely not a barrier at all. But to get started, I mean, I guess it depends a little bit on where they are in their journey. They can use kind of our second nature, the opportunity maps that I was showing earlier, to identify priority areas within their city on where they want to focus data collection, where they want to improve, how to map their pipes or their outfalls or anything like that. Or they can kind of just systematically move throughout their MS4 and kind of create different sections and how they want to go out into the field and collect data. So there's definitely opportunities, and I think the best option is really just to get started, and we can figure out the details later. But as long as you have something in GIS, that's better than just sitting on it.